Today we're going to be doing graphing linear equations. Um, the graph of a linear equation represents all the solutions of the equation. An x-coordinate of the point at which a graph of an equation crosses the x-axis is called the x-intercept. So the x-intercept is, so we have a coordinate and we have our line. So the point where it crosses the x-axis right here is called the x-intercept. Where it crosses the x-intercept is the x-axis is called the x-intercept. So where it crosses the y-axis, which right here, is called the y-intercept. So we have the x-intercept and the y-intercept. So x is where it crosses the x-axis, y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So yesterday, our last assignment we did was writing equations, linear equations in a standard form, and that was ax, I'll write that right here, ax plus by equals c. So that's what we did with our last assignment. So we're going to graph these equations, these lines, doing two different methods. The first one is we're going to find the x and y intercept using the standard form equation. So they give us 3x plus 2y equals 6. So I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite this here. 3x plus 2y equals 6. And what you need to know is when for the x-intercept, where the line crosses the x-axis, our y equals 0. And for the y-intercept, where the line crosses the y-axis, x equals 0. So using that information, we can find our x-intercept and our y-intercept. So the first thing I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say, let's find our y-intercept. So that would mean that x equals 0. So I would be 3 times 0 plus 2y equals 6. Well, the 3 times 0 cancels out. So now it's just 2y equals 6, and I can divide both sides by 2. So I get y equals 3. So that means our y-intercept is 0, 3. 0, 3. That's our y-intercept. I'd go right there. Then for our x-intercept, remember that's where y equals 0. So I would get 3x plus 2 times 0 equals 6. 2 times 0 cancels out. Divide both sides by 3. And you would get x equals 2. So that means 2, 0. And they have that point. Once you have the 2 points, you draw your line in between them. And that's it. So that's one way to do it. The other way to do it is to make a table. So what they did was they went and solved y minus 2x equals 1. They solved that for y by adding 2x to both sides. The x's cancel out, so you get y equals 2x plus 1. And then they do an xy table. So they're going to say x equals, they're just going to throw out some random numbers, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. And then you plug those in for x and you get your y. Once you have your x and your y, you have an ordered pair. So when they plugged in -2, -2 times 2 times -2 is -4. -4 plus 1 is -3. So our point is -2, -3, which is right there. -1 2 times negative 1 plus 1. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So our point is negative 1, negative 1. Then they plugged in 0. 2 times 0 plus 1. 2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. So 0, 1 is our point. Then they plugged in 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 1, 3. And really, because these are lines, we don't need to do all of those points. We don't have to do all of those points. So I'm going to go ahead and do a quick couple examples with you guys, and then I'm going to let you guys do it on your own. So I'm just going to do one of each, and then you guys are going to do the other two. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pick number 3 to do. So I'm going to rewrite the equation down at the bottom. Negative 2x plus y equals negative 2. And so I'm going to do the x-intercept first. So the x-intercept is where y equals 0. So I'm just going to rewrite this as negative 2x. And since y equals 0, I'm not even going to put that in there. And I'm just going to say, so I'm going to say y equals 0. So y equals 0, so that would end up canceling it out. So I just get negative 2x equals negative 2. Divide both sides by negative 2. And you get x equals 1. So my y-intercept is 1, 0. And I'm going to go ahead and plot that point. And then I'm going to do my y-intercept. And that means x equals 0. So when I plug 0 in for x, that whole thing cancels out, the negative 2x. So I'm just left with y equals negative 2. So there's nothing else to solve here. So my point is 0, negative 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and plot that. 0, negative 2. So I have my 2 points. And I'm going to go ahead and draw my line through those 2 points. Put my arrows on there, and that is it. So you're going to do 1 and 2 on your own. Alright, I'm going to help you guys out with this side, and I'm just going to solve the equation for y real quick for you. So this one's going to be y equals... I'm going to subtract x, but then I'm going to end up negating it. So it's going to be x plus 1. So y equals x plus 1. And this equation here is going to be y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. Alright? And so I'm going to choose to do number 6 with you guys, actually. So I'm going to say x negative 1/2 x plus 2. That's where I'm going to plug in my x value. And whatever I'm left with is my y. And then my coordinate pair, x, y. And my values for x that I'm going to choose are negative 1, 0, and 1. I'm just going to choose 3 values. So my first one, I'm going to plug in negative 1. So I get negative 1/2. Actually, I'm going to do it a little bit different, and you'll see why. I'm going to do negative 2, 0, and positive 2. This way I can deal with whole numbers. So negative 1/2 times 2 plus 2. And what I get is 2 times negative 1/2 is the 2's cancel out, and I'm left with negative 1. Negative 1 plus 2 is 1. So my pair is negative 2, 1. And I can go ahead and plot that. -2, 1. Alright. Hold on. Did I do something? Oh, I'm silly me. It was supposed to be a -2. So, hold up. -2 times -1. So the 2's cancel out, and I get -1 times -1, which is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. So 1 plus 2 is 3. So my point is not -2, 1. My point is -2, 3. And that is right. -2, 3. Now I'm going to plug in 0, and I'm going to do that one in blue. So I get -1/2 times 0 plus 2. So that cancels out. -1/2 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 2 is 2. So my point is 0, 2. So 0, 2. And then I'm going to do plug in 2. So -1/2 times 2 plus 2. -1/2 times positive 2 is -1. -1 plus 2 is 1. And so my point is 2, 1. 2, 1. And I have 3 points. All I really needed was 2 points, because 2 points would make the line. But 3 points just makes it more clear. So that is my line. And so that's what you guys are doing. You guys you're going to make your XY table for these ones, 4 and 5. And then you're going to solve 1 and 2 by finding the X-intercept, making X equal to 0, making Y equal to 0, plotting those points. All right, guys, have a good day.